My name is Jamil Alikperov and today is August 16, 2017, MBA 650 Compliance and Regulatory Risk class. My instructor name is Dr. Mark Volansky, and this is a project Chief Compliance Officer final project. There are many big corporations that aim to be a global leader and overtake the entire industry at any cost. Proper ethics wouldn't be utilized in this case. However, the lack of the ethics may lead to legal litigation and billions of dollars in fine. This presentation analyzes the culture of two companies that violated the legal rules. Those companies are Microsoft and Intel. The overview of Microsoft and Intel has shown that both companies violated the antitrust law, which also referred to a competition law that is designed to promote open market economy and protect market from predatory practices. Those companies develop a strong vertical authority power that overrode the control process. All unethical decisions were made at the top, and as a result, the companies paid billions of dollars in fines for antitrust violation. The US and the European Justice Departments believe that both companies use their monopoly in technology to protect their dominance and eliminate competition. NCCCU 2016. The fines are high because the United States Sentencing Commission 2014 established that number one, fines should remedy the harm to victims. Number two, the fine should be set significantly higher to devise the firm offal its assets if the violation was intentional. And number three, the fine range should be based on seriousness of the faulty action. In fact, the United States Sentencing Commission wasn't designed just for punishment. The focus of this organization is to discourage organization for non-compliance and motivate to maintain program for better preventive, detective, and reporting processes. The organization's sentencing guidelines set up a framework for effective compliance and ethics program that contain 7 major elements, page 504. All of these elements are used in the new orientation program. Standards. A company is expected to develop standards and processes to prevent and detect criminal conduct. Those processes should be communicated to all levels of organization. Oversight. The senior executives are expected to have overall responsibility for compliance program. The board of directors must oversee its implementation and ensure that all employees follow the standards. The senior executives are expected to set up the ethical tone at the top. Exercise due diligence. The company should reasonably avoid giving individuals with questionable past the roles in senior management. Communication and effective training. The organization must conduct effective training on periodic basis to explain all employees the company policy and government regulation. Monitoring and auditing. The organization must audit its compliance program to ensure that all compliance goals match current operation. This mechanism of disclosure of any control gap should be developed to build transparent operation. It can be done through the hotline or the whistleblowing protection program. Discipline and incentives. The appropriate incentives should be developed to encourage compliance with the organization program. At the same time, the disciplinary measure should be imposed to those who fail to follow the policy. Those actions will enforce rules and build the compliance program credibility. Corrective actions. If any misconduct is detected, then an organization must take reasonable action to prevent similar misconduct in the future. The necessary modification of existing compliance program are expected based on learning from misconduct. Orientation program plan. In order to improve the situation in both organizations, I am appointed as a Chief Compliance Officer for both of this organization. A new orientation program is developed and based on the framework provided by Assistant Attorney General Leslie Caldwell 2015, who shaped the main principle of the compliance fundamentals, emphasizing the following aspects. Senior leaders are expected to provide strong support to compliance policy. Observe not only written policy but other messages as well. Senior leaders are responsible for the implementation and oversight of compliance. Company policy must be clear and well documented and accessible. Compliance teams should have appropriate stature and access to all necessary resources. Companies should provide systems for confidential reporting of compliance violation. Companies should have processes for enforcing these policies and perform disciplinary action. The proposed orientation program promotes a vision that Microsoft and Intel are expected to develop the culture of high ethics and design the internal control process that would eliminate the opportunity for the fraudsters. Developing high ethics within an organization has a great impact on culture of integrity and adds a value to employees, investors, and customers. The top executives are expected to develop the right tone at the top by taking ethical leadership and inspiring others for ethical behavior. Development of strong internal controls is another preventing action that can help Microsoft and Intel to maintain reputation and avoid potential financial losses. The companies are expected to straighten all weak internal controls to eliminate any opportunity for employees to fail compliance with the current obligation. Weak internal controls are the leading cause of white-collar crime, Survey 2016. Proactive preventive control reduces a perceived opportunity, which is one of the elements of the fraud triangle. A good example of preventive program could be implementation of the segregation of duties. This program eliminates opportunity to make an ethical decision since the different stakeholders are involved into approval process. Another preventive action could be a strong hiring process developed by both companies. HR professionals are expected to recognize people's motivation, beliefs, fears, ambition, and values. Based on those candidates' psychology before, during, and after interview process, HR can hire only professionals with high ethical standards who would build a long-term business strategy and culture of organization. Compliance with federal, state, and local regulation. Compliance assumes conformity with the rules, while regulatory compliance assumes organization effort to take steps to comply with those law, policy, and regulation. One of the main challenges in this area is in continually changing regulatory environment, which makes compliance a moving target. PwC 2017. To overcome this challenge, Microsoft and Intel should continue to develop strong compliance program that would monitor regulation changes and apply new preventive process when needed. Risk management. To manage Microsoft and Intel risk, CCO proposes a risk transfer, which is one of the most popular techniques that are accomplished through insurance or non-insurance transfer. Microsoft and Intel compliance teams should realize that insurance is not an alternative for a lack of control, and an uninsured loss means a retained loss. Since both companies have significant financial resources, the CCO can recommend using a captive insurance, which is an attractive option to meet the risk management needs. This model provides more flexibility, tax advantage, and covers any expenses related to a wide variety of violations, including antitrust. Steps already taken versus orientation program. Today, ethics is one of the most important aspects of current Intel and Microsoft culture. All employees, including the top manager, are required to take such training as code of conduct, antitrust awareness, and anti-corruption on the annual basis. However, the new orientation program will make this training stronger. Conclusion. The companies cannot focus solely on the shareholders' value anymore. Instead, the companies need to consider shareholders as a part of society and concentrate on delivering value to the entire community. The shift towards social responsibility is more promising as it benefits us all. As a frontier of the government regulation, ethics is a great helping tool in making the right decision and preventing any future litigation. Ethical leadership would be the main achievement accomplished by Microsoft and Intel to benefit stakeholders, including customers, shareholders, suppliers, and regulators. Tone at the top describes the ethical environment that is built in the workplace by the company leadership, ACFEND. It should be developed through the many techniques such as code of conduct, proper control process, and engagement between all levels of organization from top to the bottom. It's critical for the top management to develop and maintain an ethical tone, since it guides employees toward the right behavior, which reduces the risk of non-compliance. The CCO took responsibility and developed an orientation program that built a fraud prevention, compliance regulatory program, and liability insurance model to reduce potential non-compliant risk. Those aspects provide meaningful framework on setting a strong compliance management program to reduce the risk of compliance failure. Intel and Microsoft compliance team promote living the values by ensuring the right leadership and policy in place for all employees, regardless of the role they play in the company. Both companies expected to view compliance as their competitive advantage, since the high integrity culture enables to win in the market with their customers, partners, and shareholders. Those companies learn how to do well by doing right. Thank you.